cold army barrack, a doctor pulls a white sheet over a young soldier's face. He is dead. No pulse, no breath, no heartbeat. The doctor signs the death certificate and walks away, already thinking about the next patient. The body is left alone in a small room, waiting to be taken to the morgue. But 9 minutes later, under that sheet, something moves. That dead soldier opens his eyes. And what he claims happened in those 9 minutes will go on to change how millions of people around the world think about death forever. This is not fiction. This really happened to a real man, and it's documented. And by the end of this video, you might not look at death the same way again. If stories like this give you chills, hit subscribe right now, because this channel is about to take you into the darkest, strangest, most unexplainable true stories on the internet. New videos drop regularly, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next week. Now, let's go back to that hospital bed, because this is where it truly begins. The year is 1943. World War II is raging across 2 continents. A young soldier named George Ritchie is stationed at an army camp in Texas, preparing to ship out to medical school under a special military program. He's ambitious, sharp, and has his whole future planned out. But before he ever sees a battlefield, his own body turns against him. It starts small, a cough, a fever, exhaustion he can't shake. Within days, it spirals into a violent case of double lobar pneumonia. This is decades before modern antibiotics were widely available. His lungs fill with fluid. His fever climbs dangerously high. He's drenched in sweat, drifting in and out of consciousness, fighting for every breath in a crowded military hospital ward. The nurses do everything they can, but nothing works. Then, in the middle of the night, his heart stops. The doctors rush in. They check for a pulse. Nothing. They check his breathing. Nothing. A doctor pronounces him dead on the spot, notes the time, and orders his body prepared for the morgue. Just like that, on paper, George Ritchie's life is over. But what happens next is something no textbook, no doctor, and no science class could ever have prepared anyone for. Ritchie later said that the moment his heart stopped, he suddenly found himself floating above his own body. He could see everything. The nurses rushing in, the sheet being pulled over his face, his own lifeless body lying still on the bed below him. He tried to speak. No one heard him. He tried to touch someone. His hand passed straight through. He realized, in pure horror, he was looking at his own corpse. Imagine that for a second. Watching yourself die. Watching people mourn you while you're standing right there screaming, and no one can hear you. But that was only the beginning. As Ritchie drifted through the hospital, unseen and unheard, something changed. A light appeared. Not an ordinary light. Ritchie described it as brighter than 1,000 suns, yet it didn't hurt to look at. A presence that felt ancient, intelligent, and somehow filled with overwhelming love. And then, without words, he says the light asked him one single question. What have you done with your life? Suddenly, Ritchie says his entire life played out in front of him. Every choice, every kindness, every cruelty, like a film reel, moment by moment, as if he were reliving every second at once. He wasn't judged with anger. He was shown the truth of himself, completely and instantly. And just when he thought this was the end, he was pulled back. A doctor walking past the morgue area noticed something impossible, a faint twitch under the sheet. He tore it back and found George Ritchie's heart beating again. He had been clinically dead for 9 minutes. 9 minutes, with no pulse, no oxygen to the brain, and yet he came back, remembering every single detail of what he says he saw on the other side. Doctors had no explanation. Medically, he should not have survived. He definitely should not have remembered anything. But he did, and he never forgot it. Now, fast forward to 1965. Ritchie, now a respected psychiatrist, meets a young philosophy student at the University of Virginia named Raymond Moody. One day, almost casually, Ritchie tells Moody his story. "I've died twice." Moody is stunned. He can't stop thinking about it. Over the next several years, he starts secretly collecting stories from other people who had also been declared clinically dead and revived. Dozens of strangers, different ages, different backgrounds, different countries. And somehow they all described almost the exact same thing. The floating, the tunnel, the light, the life review. In 1975, Moody publishes a book about it and gives this experience a name the whole world now recognizes: the near-death experience. To this day, scientists still can't fully explain what happens in those final moments before death. Is it just the brain shutting down? Or is it something more? George Ritchie died twice and came back both times with the same haunting message: you are not just a body. So I want to ask you, if you were given 9 minutes on the other side, what do you think you'd see? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if this story gave you chills, make sure you're subscribed, because next time, I'm bringing you a true story even darker than this one. You will not want to miss it.